Now we're going to learn about a specific kind of branching that you can do in some programming languages. So we've done most of our branching so far with if, else if, and else. And that's still the way that we're going to do almost all of our branching in our code. In certain situations though, you can use something called a switch. And the way that switch works is you give it one variable or expression, and then you give a list of values that that expression could evaluate to. The variable or expression that you give a switch statement must always evaluate to a single integer or character. So it couldn't be like a floating point or an inequality. It always is testing exact equality against a list of different values. And so you want something that's going to evaluate to an integer. Here I have an integer age, and then I have a switch statement that is going to check the value of my variable age. So age is here right after the word switch in parentheses to say age is the variable that I care about here. Then inside my curly braces, what I have is a list of cases. And so in the first case, 16, this case will fire or be what we evaluate if age is exactly equal to 16. So if the value of age is 16, then I'll print now you can drive. Then I'll check if case is equal to 18, I'll print now you can vote, and so on and so forth. So the syntax here is that each case is the keyword case followed by the value that I want to check and then a colon. Okay. Then I have everything that I'll do in that case, and then I may or may not have the keyword break. So what break does is as soon as I hit the break statement, I exit the switch expression. So let's take a look at what happens here. So if I run this, it says now you can vote, and that's because my variable was set to 18. So I found the case 18, print now you can vote, and then I had a break, so I would exit the switch. And likewise, if I have age, let's say 25, right? And again, I have to recompile and rerun my code after each change I make. It says my car insurance rates go down because that's what we have for case 25. This default at the end is what will happen if none of the cases run. So let's say I said my age was 17, right? So that's none of the special cases that I'm checking here. So now if I compile and run, this is just a regular old birthday. So the default's kind of like else in that it captures all of the things that aren't captured by one of our explicit cases. So these break statements are actually optional. So let's look at what happens if I take out a break statement. So I'm going to take out the break statement under 18 and after 21. And I'm going to go ahead and change my age to 18. Right. So I'll build again and run. So now you can see I printed you can vote, you can buy alcohol, and your car insurance rates go down. So what happened is I found the first case where I match here, case 18, and then I did everything until the next break. So since a break isn't until down here, I went ahead and I printed all three statements. So you want to think about structuring your switch, being mindful of where the breaks are. Remembering that you'll do all of the case statements until you hit a break once you find the one where you match. If none of the values match the value of your variable, you'll do the default case. The default is optional, you can leave it off, and if you leave it off, then you just won't do anything if the value of your variable doesn't match any of the values in your case statements. So as you can see, we'll only use switch in really specific situations. If, else is much more flexible and allows us to capture a much wider variety of problems and situations. But every once in a while, switch is a good solution for a specific problem where we want to check a single integer or single character against a bunch of different values.